Well, since George Floyd's death last year, many are wondering what type of law enforcement changes have happened here in the Bay Area. KPIX 5 reporter Kenny Choi is live in San Francisco with a look at some of the latest police reforms in this city. Kenny?
Liz, advocates for police reform say that some steps, yes, have been made, but that it is not enough. Here in San Francisco, the police department came under the national spotlight after some very high-profile killings. But the department says that when you look at the data, it shows that some of the policy changes over the years are working. The 2015 officer-involved shooting of Mario Woods in the Bayview ignited a loud cry for police reform across the Bay Area. That call only escalated after the killing of George Floyd.
Have there been some improvements since the protests last year?
Not enough. And every movement forward, we've had to fight for, scream about, protest about.
A national campaign called 8 Can't Wait outlines 8 changes for police departments, including banning chokeholds and strangleholds and shooting at a moving vehicle. SFPD says it's the first major city department to implement all 8 reforms.
We still have a way to go there, but we've made a tremendous amount of work on some of our key indicators, which is a reduction in shootings, use of force, reduction in search and stops, and a higher yield rate on those that we do search and stop.
SFPD data shows use of force incidents in San Francisco has steadily dropped each year, from more than 3,700 in 2016 to 2,700 in 2018, and then down to 1,500 last year.
In San Francisco, in terms of our policies, those changes have happened. Those are implemented or being implemented as we speak.
If they do become crisis situations, handling them in a way that we create time for our officers to be thoughtful and not have to immediately react to what could be life-threatening situations.
Last year's movement to defund police has led to a seemingly never-ending budget battle within cities and its players. San Francisco's police commission recently rejecting a proposed 11% budget cut for the department.
We've got a long way to go. And the fact that we're still having a conversation with our electeds about whether or not we need to divest from violent policing and invest in our communities, and when our communities are clearly in crisis, is very telling.
Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf's proposed budget calls for an increase in police spending over the next 2 fiscal years, which goes against what the city council has been calling for, to slash its funding by half.
Kenny, specifically, what else is San Francisco police? What are they saying about other changes that need to be made or have already been made?
So, Liz, when it comes to more diversity within the force, San Francisco police saying that it is recruiting more black, indigenous people of color than it has ever before. Another change that they point to is the officer-involved shootings over the years. Last year, there were only 3. You compare that to 9 in 2015. They say that's a result of all the de-escalation training that's been going on. So far this year, only 1 officer-involved shooting in San Francisco.